What's going on, everyone? And welcome back to Treebeard's Toy Box. And today, we're going to be taking a look at a couple of figures that I've really been looking forward to. And those are the Princess Bride, Princess Buttercup in her red dress, and the Princess Bride Dread Pirate Roberts, both coming from McFarlane Toys. So there are a few things that I see that I already don't like, unfortunately. But before we get into it, let's go ahead and check out the packaging here. So here we have these nice windows to see the figures here. We get this lovely Princess Bride logo down here at the bottom. And the way this is written here, being red dress, I'm assuming we may get another version of her. Maybe, maybe not. But then on the top of the boxes here, you get that logo again there. The McFarlane Toys up at the top. Can't really see that on the camera there. And for the sides, you just get this image here. And for the other side of the box, you just get the name of the figure here. So you get the Dread Pirate Roberts, and then you get the Princess Bride logo up there. McFarlane Toys down at the bottom there. And here we have the back of the packaging for both figures. And here at the bottom you see the other figures that they have. And I did see Inigo Montoya, but I just picked up these two for now. They are starting to hit targets, and they are $24.99, and that is one of the things I don't like. So yeah, the $24.99 is usually the normal price for the collect and connect, or whatever the build-a-figure type things are called for McFarlane Toys. So you usually get a couple accessories, or if you don't get the accessories, you get the figure part, or like the piece to the figure you're building. Whereas with these, Princess Buttercup, really, I guess, if you're counting her belt and her soft goods skirt or dress that she comes with, an accessory, she doesn't come with anything but her stand. And the Dread Pirate Roberts only comes with a sword. And I think, you know, for that $24.99, that's a bit steep, in my opinion. I think they could have given us a lot more. Another thing to look out for when you are picking up these figures, if you do, and I do suggest, I did have them pre-ordered from Amazon, but I'm going to be canceling all those pre-orders. I suggest waiting till you see these figures in the wild, because for some reason, all the ones I have seen, all the eyes are looking off, it seems, towards the left. And I did manage to pick the best two I could find, but with all three figures, they did not have the mega figure yet, the Fezzik. But for some reason, the other figures, they're all looking like to the left. So make sure that you are paying attention to the paint apps, because they could have been better, and that is a little disappointing. This movie meant a lot to me. It still means a lot to me, but I grew up on this movie, and I've seen it so many times. It's such a special film. So I think if you're going to have the license, you need to do it justice. So, but enough of that. Let's go ahead and get these figures open and see what's really going on. So we are going to go ahead and take a look at Princess Buttercup first. And she is a pretty decent looking figure. I will tell you that I did just get very frustrated trying to stand her up, because I am not a huge fan, never have been, of ratchet joints in the ankles. They never seem to fall like in the groove that you need them to go into. So I have been messing with her. Stand or no stand, that is going to be a problem. So I hate to complain already, but you know, I'm just saying, those darn ratchet joints on the ankles, I don't really care for them. Ta-da! The soft goods dress turned out better than I thought it would. Underneath, she's wearing some pants with red boots, and that is screen accurate. So that is cool. Got this belt that is kind of free there, but it's also attached at the back here. So separate piece up here, so that's nice. And then we get some nice details here in the back of her blouse there. Well, it's part of the dress, but get some nice details there, nice textures. Man, looking pretty good. The hair looks fantastic. The sculpting and everything. And she's got this little piece that I believe she only has, at least while she's wearing this red dress, she doesn't have it on for very long. It's just when they first kidnap her, I think, is when she's wearing that. And then she's also wearing black riding gloves as well in that scene. But yeah, she looks pretty decent. The likeness is pretty good. Like I said a few minutes ago, most of the figures were looking off to the left, it seemed. So I did do my best to pick a really good one. I think I did all right. The light it's not perfect, but it turned out okay. Yeah. Got some nice wrinkles here in her dress there, and the sleeves. It's nice to see that these little joints here aren't quite as big as the ones on Harley Quinn. Glad they fixed that a little bit. Those were huge. Yeah, the details on the belt look really nice. Nice gold there. And like I said, her hair is just, it looks fantastic. The sculpt work. So yeah, she looks pretty great. The only accessory she has is her stand, and I did not take that out of the packaging. I left that in there, as I usually do with these McFarlane figures. And real quick before we go into articulation, I just wanted to note, the more figures we get like this, the more I really wish that we could have gotten a few more Walking Dead figures out of McFarlane Toys. They had those last few that they previewed, and we never saw them. But I think the way he's improved with like the articulation, you know, we're getting different things like this. I think we could have gotten some really, really cool Walking Dead figures. So if anybody's listening over there at McFarlane Toys or Walking Dead, anything you guys can do, can we get, like, you know, maybe 3 more figures? But anyways, let's go ahead and move on to articulation here. So Princess Buttercup actually has some pretty decent articulation, other than her unfortunate ratchet ankles. We get a ball at the top of the neck, and I will say it would have been nice if the hair were made from a slightly softer plastic, because it's pretty hindering as far as articulation goes for the head. We get forward a little, not back really, side to side, and a little bit of turning. So it's pretty hindered up there at the head. We do get a hinge and swivel for the shoulders there. And there's something going on here. I don't think, maybe they did intend for this, but it's very similar to how Polka Dot Man was from the Suicide Squad. And whereas there was a, like, not really, it's not super gappy, but it definitely seems like they could have thrown some butterfly joints in there. I don't know if they meant to. There's definitely space for them, so not sure what's going on there. But we do get a bicep swivel here. That's nice. And we get double jointed elbows. Very nice. And she's got some, didn't point that out earlier, but she's got some earrings too, and the paint on that is actually really nice. It's very clean. So I will give them credit for that. Usually something like that can be really sloppy and bleed a little bit, but that they actually turned out really nice. So here for the wrists, we get the ratchet hinge and swivel there. but they're a lot cleaner than they were with Harley Quinn. So very nice. Both look a lot better, a little more petite. But we get a joint up here with a little bit of motion at the top of where it meets with the soft goods there. And then we also get another joint at the waist, so we get decent crunch. Not that she would need it, but it's there. Side to side, pretty decent. And this seems to stay in place pretty well. I'm not sure exactly how that is connected up there. It's definitely long, but I do like how it's not completely clean down here at the bottom. It is a little rough, so it gives it kind of a weathered look, and I like that. And then, let's see here. Sorry, loud truck out there. This is what's going on under here. This is like a softer piece. So there you go. Back a little bit. Not much for the thigh swivel there. You know, we never really get a thigh cut with McFarlane. We do get double jointed knees. And she can kick her own butt. Nothing at the top of the boots there. And we do get a hinge and swivel and rocker for the ankles there. And then we also get that toe joint. And here's something else I want to note too. Usually the ankles we get a I'm trying to find another McFarlane figure. We usually get like a ball similar to what's going on for the wrists. And this time around they cleaned that up and actually did a little sculpting on that joint. And if you notice there, it actually all looks like part of the boot. So props to McFarlane on that. That's definitely an improvement. So pretty decent articulation. My only complaint with it is I don't think I think I get is the point of the ratchet joint so that it stays in place. I mean, if that's the case, then let's get those grooves in the right place so that I can get her to stand up. But she's standing up right now. But yeah, that's pretty decent articulation, especially for a female figure wearing a dress. It's nice. I really like the soft goods. I think they turned out really nice. But yeah, let's go ahead. Pretty stoked with her. Before we do our final thoughts, let's go ahead and get a look at the Dread Pirate Roberts. And here we have the Dread Pirate Roberts. And it turned out pretty good, I think. Pretty happy with what I see here. Looks like we've got a couple different shades of black going on, color-wise. And some silvers here and there, but that is about it. We get a lot of nice sculpted detail. That's good. Usually see that with McFarlane. I will say his elbows are a bit odd. Not odd, but just kind of ugly with the joints because of the shirt. But we've seen that before with McFarlane. That's no big surprise, and that just kind of happens sometimes. This is a softer plastic back here. So is this. This is, I don't like, this looks cheap here. The way they do the sheath like this. Anytime they do that, it kind of seems cheap to me, in my opinion. One thing is you can unplug the sheath if you want to and take that off. So that is cool. I will probably do that if I want to use him as a pocket fig so that I don't snag that on anything. So that's a nice option. The face. So just make sure, and this is why I do advise waiting till you see these in person to purchase them as opposed to pre-ordering them from somewhere, is because, like I said, all the figures seem to be looking to the left. And then, like I said, I'm rewatching this right now, so they definitely added too much 5 o'clock shadow. He wasn't that scruffy in the movie, and I think they overdid it a little bit with his mole there. slight little nitpicks. Other than that, he didn't turn out too bad. I'm pretty happy with him. And he stands okay. He seems to have some smaller feet. And he does suffer from those ratchet joints at the ankles, unfortunately. But I've got him standing right now, as you can see. Accessory-wise, he only comes with his stand, which I did leave in the box. Like I said, I always do that with the McFarlane. Well, not always, but most of the time with McFarlane figures. The way they package them in there, you have to get in there with a razor blade, and it's just a big old mess. And I've got other stands like from Tashi Station Emporium that I use, so you know, if you guys need good stands, check those guys out. So yeah, we get that stand that's going to stay in the package there, and then we also get his sword here, which you can see is a little warped, but I'll just hit that with a hair dryer and then leave it in the sheath, and it should straighten right out. It is a little flimsy, but the swords were kind of flimsy in the movie, so it's just the style it is. So warped a little, but that doesn't shock me. I still will say that $24.99 is a little high. I think these should have been $19.99. That's just my opinion. So yeah, that is it for accessories. I think we can go ahead and move on to articulation here. So for articulation here, we get a ball at the top of the neck there, and it gets a decent bit of motion there. And you can see, and when we turn there, they went heavy on that facial hair, that 5 o'clock shadow on his neck too, and it's just not like that in the movie. So that's a little odd. But yeah, we get a decent amount of motion for his head. Yeah, not really hindered at all. We do get a hinge and swivel for the shoulder, and we also get some butterfly joints in there. And we're also going to get a bicep cut there. And we get these single jointed elbows due to the design of the shirt there. So it's a little hindered there. We only go up that far. That kind of stinks. Yeah. And then, and it swivels there too. A little, man, that is really hindered there at the elbow, surprisingly. Princess Buttercup has better articulation. What's up with that? This guy's got to fight with a sword. Oh well. And then we get our hinge and swivel here for the wrist there. Those wonderful ratchet joints there. And we get a couple different joints here. We get this little like lower torso pivot there it's decent. Not a whole lot, but that combined with the waist, you do get quite a bit, and this is all softer material here. So, yeah. Little gappy here, but I'm not going to be posing him like that. And it looks like also when I did that, it knocked his sword out. So we'll actually go ahead and take the sheath out. And as you can see here, it's just got this hole. And when I lifted this whole piece up, that actually all slid out of place, unfortunately. So do pay attention to that. I have to slide that back under there. There we go. So that must be why the sheath pops out. So now you do kind of get this big hole there. But, oh well. Not perfect by any means. While we're down here, I will say the buckles, like these little straps and stuff, like the buckles on them did turn out okay. They could have been way sloppier, and those are pretty nice. So let's see here. Yeah, a little bit of twist there. We get decent stuff here. And we get out that far with the hips there. Back a little bit. Nothing really for the thighs. Yeah, McFarlane's known for that. We should be used to that for now, or by now. And we get our double jointed knees. Pretty stiff there, so Might want to hit that with a hairdryer. He can kick his own butt. You can hear those joints really crack. Oh yeah, nice and stiff. We get nothing down here at the boot. Nice leather detail. It looks like leather. I do like that, and the sculpting there for his boots. It's a nice detail. One thing down here at the ankles, we don't get these sculpted ball pegs here. We get these ugly guys. It was nice to see how they sculpted them for Princess Buttercup, so maybe that's something they're going to work on in the future, but didn't implement on all these figures for some reason. I don't know. But yeah, we get our hinge, swivel, and rocker for the ankles, and then we also get that toe joint. Yeah. Not a big fan of these ankles, but that's alright. What are you going to do? And then, in case I didn't note earlier, I don't think I did, for the hands, we get one gripped hand and one open hand here. So, but yeah, there is the Dread Pirate Roberts. For size comparison, we'll just put them up against a couple other McFarlane figures here. They are in that 7-inch scale. Here we have the Justice League Batman, and we have our Suicide Squad Harley Quinn here. So, as you know, they're never all quite in scale with these McFarlane figures throughout, whether it be DC Multiverse or like the Witcher figures they've done. It's kind of all over the place, so we've come to expect that. But for just a slight idea, here you go for a size comparison. So overall, I am pretty happy with these Princess Bride figures. I am definitely happy to add them to the collection. I love this movie with all my heart. It's always meant a lot to me. It still means a lot to my family. We watch it a lot in our house here. My daughter's a fan. My wife's a huge fan. So it's nice to finally add some figures from the movie. Thank you, McFarlane, for giving us those. They are not perfect, and if you are not a huge fan of the Princess Bride, maybe pass on these. I definitely think that $24.99 is a bit too high, very lackluster when it comes to accessories, and the paint apps, like, you shouldn't have to search through a bunch of figures to get a decent paint app. I don't know why the eyes are all wonky and looking to the left. I'm quite happy with the two that I found, but definitely keep an eye out, no pun intended. And like I said, I definitely recommend picking these up in person as opposed to online, just to make sure you get some decent paint apps. I think the soft goods turned out great on Princess Buttercup. Her articulation is surprisingly good. I think it's a little better, even better than Wesley's here. And yeah, I think we could have benefited from another head. Well, maybe we wouldn't have. McFarlane probably would have screwed it up, but I think an alternate head for Wesley would have been nice without the mask. But something tells me we're going to get maybe a 2-pack or something of them in different outfits. So who knows? I guess we'll see how these sell. But I think together I will give them, I think I would give them both a 7 out of 10. Yeah, they're pretty decent, but slightly overpriced for what you get. I just think we could have gotten some more accessories at least. So, but overall, as a fan of the Princess Bride, I freaking love these figures, and I'm really happy to have them in the collection. It's nice to see McFarlane doing some things different with the ankles, like they did with Buttercup. It would have been nice to see them on this guy as opposed to the big old balls that he gets down there. But yeah, I'm trying to, not really anything else. I think that's going to do it. Yeah, solid 7 out of 10 for each figure. Yeah, that's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to hit that like button. And if you are not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, and welcome to Treebeard's Toy Box. And please tell your friends. We're so close to 400 subscribers here, and it would be awesome if I could somehow hit 500 by the end of the year. I started the channel in February, so I think if I could hit 500 in a year, I think that's a good start. Pretty happy with that. But yeah, I enjoy all of you, and I enjoy the you sharing your time with me and checking these videos out. And yeah, until next time, take good care.